Hey, welcome. You know, it's funny. We're always looking ahead for the next big thing, for some future wisdom. But what if I told you that some of the most mind-blowing insights about, well, our minds, are actually hidden away in ancient texts, just waiting for us? Today, we're going to dive into one of them and uncover three powers that are apparently inside every single one of us. So, let me ask you something. What if superpowers were real? And I'm not talking about flying or becoming invisible. I mean something way more powerful. What if the real superpower isn't about changing the world around you, but about mastering the world inside your own head? That's the exact idea we're going to unpack.
All right, so we're looking at this amazing passage from the Pali Canon. It introduces this really cool concept known as the Teeny Pāṭihāriyani, which, in plain English, we can translate as the three wonders.
And seriously, when you first hear them, they sound like they're straight out of a comic book, right? You've got psychic power, telepathy or mind reading, and the wonder of instruction. Let's see how the text first describes them. Okay, so let's dive into these so-called magical wonders. The text kicks things off by explaining them in a way that sounds, well, pretty supernatural. We're talking about the kinds of abilities you might expect from a seriously advanced sage.
First up, we have the wonder of psychic power, iddhi Pāṭihāriyam. The text describes this as the power to literally multiply your body, one person becoming many, or to appear and disappear at will. It even talks about moving right through solid objects. Pretty wild stuff.
Next up is ādesanā. This is basically mind reading. It's described as the power to just know what another person is thinking and feeling, maybe just by observing them or hearing their voice, or even attuning to them in a deep state of meditation. And finally, the third one, ānusasanipāṭihāriyam. This is the ability to be a truly effective teacher, to guide someone by saying, hey, think this way, not that way. You should work on developing this quality and let go of that one. What's really interesting is that even next to walking through walls and reading minds, the power to teach is held up as this profound wonder.
Now, if the text just stopped there, this would be a cool old story about magic, but maybe not super relatable for us. But this is where it gets really good, because the text does a complete pivot and offers a totally different, much deeper way to understand these powers.
The text itself seems to pose this huge question. What if these wonders aren't some external magical feats at all? What if they're actually profound internal, psychological achievements that are available to absolutely everyone?
And honestly, this is what makes this teaching so brilliant. It doesn't just throw these supernatural ideas at you and walk away. Nope, it immediately flips the script and turns our attention inward to the actual workings of our own minds.
So let's see how it does this. It actually redefines the key words themselves, showing us that the true magic isn't about changing the world around us, but about completely transforming the world inside us. Okay, first, let's take the word iddhi, which we translated as power. In this new interpretation, it has nothing to do with psychic stuff. It's all about the success or accomplishment of intentionally developing a positive state of mind, like goodwill or mental clarity. And then there's Pāṭihāriyam, the wonder or the miracle. This is the payoff. It's that incredible moment when that positive mental state you've been working on, that iddhi, actually overcomes a negative one, like anger or anxiety. That is the true miracle. And this is where it all becomes incredibly practical. Look at these pairings the text lays out for us. The power of renunciation creates the wonder of overcoming desire. The power of goodwill performs the miracle of dispelling ill will. The power of cultivating a perception of light or clarity wards off that sleepy, sluggish feeling. And of course, the power of knowledge overcomes ignorance. You see, this isn't magic, it's a blueprint for training your mind.
So let's circle back. That real wonder of psychic power, the true iddhi Pāṭihāriyam, isn't about walking through walls. It's the profound internal miracle of using a cultivated quality, like the peace that comes from letting go, to free yourself from the grip of some intense desire. Now that is a superpower.
And what about the wonder of telepathy, the ādesanā? The text redefines this as the kind of clarity that comes from a cultivated mind. When your own mind is pure and your intentions are clear, you just start to recognize that same potential for peace and clarity in other people. It's a deep, intuitive form of understanding. Which brings us to the final and most highly respected wonder, ānusasanipāṭihāriyam.
The greatest miracle of all is being able to teach someone else this very method, how to develop their own inner powers to achieve their own inner wonders. It's the wonder of empowerment.
So, after exploring this ancient text, what does all this mean for us, right here, right now? Well, the message is both really simple and incredibly profound.
The big takeaway is this: true power, the real magic, lies in the conscious and deliberate cultivation of our inner world. Every time you choose goodwill over anger, or clarity over confusion, or generosity over craving, you're performing one of these small miracles.
So I'll leave you with this question. This ancient text suggests that the potential for these wonders exists inside all of us, just waiting to be developed. What positive quality, what inner power will you choose to cultivate today?